Society puts on us expectations without our permission. But to be truly fulfilled or happy, you need to change some of those stereotypes. Hello, you're welcome to Who Cares Moment with Biola. Who cares? We care. Have you questioned stereotypes like, a girl ought not to behave like that? A man ought not to cry. Be a man, be tough, aggressive. Show her that you are the man. Gender roles are learned behavior by a person, appropriate to their gender, determined by the prevailing cultural norms. Chimamanda Ngozi Adichie said, "The problem with gender roles is that it prescribes how we should behave, rather than recognizing how we are."
Name calling and insults became the order of the day. My home was a living hell, and life became unbearable.
40% of domestic violence is suffered by men. Though the common narrative is that women are the victims, men are also victims, but they don't speak out. In some cases, men are even manipulated into thinking they are the abusers. Most men don't report for fear of being ridiculed or not believed. Many feel trapped. An abusive woman may slap or throw things at the man, and in most cases insult or humiliate him in public and even deny him sex. A male victim may feel like a failure for not living up to the masculine stereotype. In this edition, a domestic violence male victim shares a story and will hide his identity because of stigmatization.
Before we got married, my wife and I dated for 8 months. We were both busy at work, but we spent weekends together. She was dutiful and respectful. 2 months into the marriage, sex became occasional. I would spend weeks begging, promising gifts before she succumbs. According to her, she doesn't really like it. I did not know that before marriage. A year after we got married, I lost my job, and my once respectful, dutiful wife started exhibiting nasty attitudes. To make ends meet, I did different businesses and managed to carry out my responsibilities, but had to reduce expenses. She stopped doing house chores and I took over that. Sex became 1 in 3 months and then once in 6 months. Name calling and insults became the order of the day. My home was a living hell and life became unbearable. On one occasion, after a very busy day, I got home late at night tired, only to meet a very messy house. I queried her about it, and she snapped, saying I should clean it if it bothers me. After all, I didn't have a decent job, was her regular line. She heaped all sorts of insults. I had to resist the urge to slap her. I had to sleep out that night and some other nights at a friend's place without even telling him what happened at my place. Who do I go to or tell what's happening in my home? Who would believe? My friends would make fun of me and say I am not man enough. I wonder why me. I don't believe in divorce, and I keep hoping she would change. She started keeping late nights and clubbing, hanging out with men in compromising manner. I cannot believe this.
Is it me you're talking to like
yes,
that?
I'm talking to you. Oh, so now you want to beat me. Now you want to beat me. Hey, God, let him beat me. Beat me now. Beat me. Let's know that you are bringing in chicken change. Now you turn into a white beater. Somebody that's bringing.
No,
in
it's
money.
fine. It's fine.
Now
It's
you're
fine.
turning
It's
into a
fine.
white
It's fine. You
beater.
can go.
Please,
You can
please,
go.
pick up,
You
pick
can
up,
go.
pick
You
up.
can go.
Ah,
You can go.
rubbish.
You can go. What kind of miserable life is this? What have I gotten myself into?
I endured for 2 years of emotional and verbal abuse. I was sex-starved. I was not able to speak out for fear of being labeled a weakling. At the time, I contemplated divorce. After 2 years of hustling without pay and doing different businesses, I got a well-paying job. And then all of a sudden, her attitude changed. She became loving, respectful, and dutiful. I couldn't believe the dramatic change of attitude. She even apologized and confessed her wrongdoings, including extramarital affairs. I am at a crossroad. I still love her. Maybe giving her a second chance won't be bad if she promises it won't happen again. But I really get confused sometimes when I remember I am pained.
The founder, X2D TV, and Confident Relationship for Men speaks on male domestic violence and the way forward.
Well, male victims don't speak out, when they are victims of domestic violence because of two basic things. Number one, shame, and stigma as well. People believe that men are supposed to be very strong and very brave, and when they go through things, they're supposed to, suck it up and not, report such issues, so that will not be seen as weaklings or people who are not strong. So most male people don't report that. Well, male victims, don't really have a lot of options. Let's be honest with ourselves. Where can they go to? And what basically we do is to begin to deal with the core area where I have competence, which is emotional male dysfunction, which is being able to help men track the journey of where the emotional dysfunction started from and what is not making them evolve into who a real man should be, which is basically a man who is at peace with himself and has come to achieve wholeness. That is basically what my organization does. And the reality there is that when you reach out to us, we're able to take you through some models that allow you to track your dysfunction and create like a support group for you that can help you to begin to make a journey into wholeness again. I mean, those of us who work with boys or men also realize that sometimes when you've been sexually molested as a boy at a young age, there's a tendency you also, go that route, as regards the fact that you're suffering from dysfunction. So at the end of the day, when you find that this is the situation on ground, there's always help for you. But then the question is, do you know where help is? The impact of domestic violence in society can't, you can't really put everything in one box. It's numerous in terms of what people who are victims of domestic violence go through. There's a lot of mental issues, there's a lot of mental health issues, there's a lot of emotional dysfunction, there's a lot of health issues in itself because people are inflicted with pain and so much. And obviously from there you get a lot of things of people not being as productive as they're supposed to do, because now they need to begin to look for help and working towards recovery and things like that. And obviously the economy loses from people who are battling mental health issues, depression, who are not able to give their best because something has happened to them that has harmed them both physically and emotionally and mentally as well. So you find out that the more we have more people in society who are battling from effects of domestic violence, you find out that we as a people are losing a lot of people who should be out there being active, being productive, and achieving great things. So really at the end of the day, we find that people live in fear, people live in intimidation, and it makes people just live below their installed capacity of who they can be. And then obviously we're looking at issues of broken homes, we're looking at issues of children being raised outside of the kind of where they should be, because obviously when there's domestic violence in your home, you have to leave that environment and probably go and live somewhere else and everything. So really we can't really pack it together. There's a lot we can say about how domestic violence affects society negatively.
This episode's victim seeks your advice. What action should he take on his wife's abrupt change of attitude after he got a well-paying job? Be your brother's keeper. Send your words of advice to the comment section below. Please subscribe and share. Thank you. A problem shared is a problem half solved. Also, be your brother's keeper. Send in your comments and your advice. Let us change our world one person at a time. Thank you for being part of this edition. Please click on the like and subscribe button. Who cares? We care.